say that I broke out. I didn't break out. I was let out. My name is Antoine.
We got to be in a simulation or something. This can't be real. These pieces are not quite aligning for me. Before we get into today's video, I just want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope you all are getting ready for a wonderful weekend. I hope everybody's got plans to get outside, get some sunshine, feel good, drink some good water, spend time with your family. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the highly requested 10 inmates that escaped from the New Orleans jail. Some people are saying prison, but it's technically a jail. And you guys, the pieces are just not all quite fitting together for me here. And there's some funny parts to this, and there's some bizarre parts, and there's some parts that don't make sense. And there's also like, what is really going on here? So before we get into it, though, I do want to let you guys know, if you don't already know, hi, my name is Christina. I do have a second channel, which is Casually Christina. We just do things way more casually over there. I also have a Patreon. My Patreon's for 18 and up. And over there, we talk about more personal stuff. We go live over there. There's a $2 tier for all the true crime stuff that cannot go onto YouTube due to their terms and policies. That goes over on my Patreon under the $2 tier. Just make sure you read the full about section and what each tier offers before you join. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and I'm also on Like to Know It. And Like to Know It is a platform where you can find links to a lot of the things that I use and that I like and that y'all ask about. Makeup, skincare, clothing items, hair care products, furniture, workout gear, all kind of stuff that I want to link, I do, over on my Like to Know It. And all of those platforms are linked down in the description box if you would like to come and check me out. So, okay, you may have seen in the news lately that 10 inmates escaped from a jail in New Orleans, Louisiana. Well, weeks later, some of these inmates have still not been caught. Some have been caught, but there are still 2 that are on the loose, y'all. And one of those 2 is claiming that he is innocent and that he was actually let out. Like, some people are thinking this is some sort of conspiracy theory too. Some of these parts to this is very weird, I'm not gonna lie. So I really started to look into this, and there are some very interesting parts to this case that we have got to talk about. This is a good spot to tell y'all I'm not a professional. Please go do your own research, form your own opinions. I am pulling all of my information from very public news sources that is already out there. I'm filtering it through my own words and opinions. Again, go do your own research, form your own opinions. So, like I just said, on May 16th of this year, 2025, 10 inmates escaped from the Orleans Justice Center. The Orleans Justice Center is actually the city jail for New Orleans, which means that most of the inmates that are actually being housed there are waiting to go to trial. They have not been found guilty yet. They have not been sentenced yet. Most of them. Some of them have been sentenced, and then they're just waiting to be transferred to prison. But y'all need to know a little bit of history about this particular facility for all of this stuff to kind of make you go, wait a minute, did all of these accidents just happen, or was something else really going on? So in May of 2013, this jail ranked as one of the top 10 worst jails in the whole U.S. And I giggled when I read this, but it has been described as too large and understaffed and filthy. I giggled because any of y'all that have ever worked in a facility like this, they're all understaffed. They're all filthy. But nevertheless, it ranked in top 10 in the U.S. This jail has had quite a few issues in the past as well, and reportedly mostly caused from lack of monitoring by the deputies. At one point, a group of inmates actually filed a class action lawsuit against the jail back in 1969, but allegedly the problems still went unaddressed even after that. And in 2012 alone, reports show that there were over 600, in 1 year, 600 ambulance runs to the ER from the jail. In August of 2005, when Hurricane Katrina was barreling down on New Orleans, the jail staff completely abandoned the jail, just left the inmates there, leaving 650 inmates locked in their cells with no access to food, water, or any kind of ventilation for days on end. Now remember, for my friends that's going to get down there in the comment section and say, well, good riddance to them, these are people that have not been found guilty yet, have not gone to trial. It could be innocent people that are in there. And there was no official death count that was ever reported. Imagine that. But according to a human rights group, 517 inmates were later registered as unaccounted for. Well, they're unaccounted for. Never could find 517 people. After Hurricane Katrina, FEMA dedicated $223 million to the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office for restoration of its facilities. $223 million. Seems like you could get some stuff done with that little bit of change, if you know what I mean. The Sheriff's Office outlined 3 different phases of construction that would utilize these funds. Now, phase 1 and 2 have already been completed. However, phase 3 has just begun construction in 2023. And now with all that being said, now y'all see a little bit of drama that's been surrounding this place. Let's get back to the escape that happened on May 16th of this year that is still ongoing. This group's escape actually started hours before on May 15th. Earlier in the day, on May 15th, it is now known that one of the escaped inmates purposely clogged the toilet in his cell in an effort to have the water shut off. This is all honestly normal stuff in a jail. These things happen, as disgusting as it sounds. People do this type of thing. Now, allegedly, this inmate, Antoine Massey, told a maintenance worker, Sterling Williams, to shut the water off or he would be sorry. That's what's being said. However, Sterling's attorney has said that when Sterling arrived on the pod that day, that a deputy informed him that the toilet was overflowing and that she said no work order had been put in for it, but she did ask Sterling to take a look at it, and that's why he shut the water off. Not because he was asked to. So you get this. So allegedly, the story that's now going around is that this inmate, and we're going to later find out who is labeled like a dangerous inmate, told the other guy, Sterling, turn this water off or else. But the guy, Sterling, says, wait a minute, I turned it off because the staff member told me to go take a look at it and it was clogged, so I turned it off. Not because I was threatened. Then at 10:30 p.m. on May 15th, the jail was locked down like it usually is. However, there was no sheriff's deputy assigned to that part of the jail where the escaped inmates were housed. And mind you, we're going to go through these inmates and what they were being housed for. They're all being housed for big boy charges. This is not a side of the pod where you got some people in there that stole some bubblegum from the local corner store, honey. These inmates are being held innocent until proven guilty, but for stuff that seems like it probably would do good to have somebody there watching them. There was just a civilian worker that was monitoring the area, and at around 12:20 a.m., that person briefly stepped away to get food. At 12:22 a.m., a surveillance camera captured several inmates out of their cells. Now, they're supposed to be locked in their cells, but somehow they got out of their cells and they were forcing open another cell's sliding door. The sheriff has since said that she's been asking local officials for years for money to fund upgrading facility locks on these cell doors. So let's just quickly go over this so far. So far we've got one of the top 10 worst jails, understaffed, filthy, okay? You got a section of this jail that has inmates that have pretty serious charges. You don't have a deputy on staff there. You've got a civilian worker who, let's be real, in my unprofessional opinion, was probably sleeping, but nevertheless stepped away for food for a second. Just happened to step away while these inmates opened the cell door. They got the cell door open. Now you got the sheriff saying, well, I've been asking for more locks on those doors. So things are just already weird, okay? By 12:43 a.m., multiple inmates had entered another cell that they had been trying to get into for the past 20 minutes. So they were sitting there for 20 minutes trying to get into this other cell, and they finally get in there. Now, once they got in, the inmates removed the sink-toilet combination thing, that's attached to the wall, and they started to dig out a hole into the wall. They even sawed through the steel bars that were behind the toilet sink combo. So all this is going on. And then, y'all, this is the part that had me hollering. After they sawed this hole through the wall, they left graffiti that said, "Too easy, LOL, we innocent." And I shouldn't be laughing about that, but they put "Too easy, LOL, we innocent." Oh my gosh, if anyone has seen the show Prison Break, it sounds very similar to something that has happened on that show. At 1 a.m., a surveillance camera captured the group of guys running out of the building through a loading dock. Then, when they went down this other road towards a new part of the jail that's still under construction, they were caught on camera again. At 1:19 a.m., the group was seen climbing a fence using blankets to protect themselves from the barbed wire. And then a traffic camera captured the group running across Interstate 10 and entering a nearby neighborhood. And y'all's got to see this video. Some of the videos that are going around on TikTok about this is just too funny to not see. Check this out.
Let's take break. We gotta separate.
Now get this. If all of that wasn't wild enough, that they were on all these surveillance footage, they are gone. Obviously, where is this civilian officer that stepped away for a bite to eat for a second while they're getting into another cell, removing the toilet combination, sawing through the wall, graffiti, "Too easy, LOL, we innocent," crawling out and going over the fence. Oh my goodness. It wasn't until 8:30 a.m., y'all, that the inmates that escaped were discovered that they were gone during the next morning routine head count. Oh yeah, all the way till 8:30 a.m., honey. Them inmates could have been in Timbuktu. They could have been anywhere they wanted to be. In that many hours, they could have been multiple states away. Multiple law enforcement agencies immediately began their manhunt, looking to capture all 10 inmates quickly as possible. It wasn't long before the first inmate was found, and this was 20-year-old Kendall Miles. Kendall, 20 years old. I mean, guess where he was at, y'all? He was seen on surveillance footage on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, which is popular down in the French Quarters, at 11:30 a.m. After a brief foot chase, Kendall was found hiding up underneath a car in a hotel parking lot garage, and then he was immediately taken into custody. He was facing charges of second-degree attempted murder and armed robbery. Later that same day at around 7:30 p.m., another inmate, 21-year-old Robert Moody, was captured in another part of the city after a tip was given to Crime Stoppers. He was facing a bunch of weapons charges and some aggression type of charges. Just 2 hours later, the Louisiana State Police posted on Facebook that a third inmate, 24-year-old DeKinnon Dennis, was found and he was taken into custody. He was facing charges of armed robbery. A couple days later, on Monday, May 19th, a fourth inmate, 21-year-old Gary Price, was found and taken into custody, and he was facing first-degree charge as well as DV charges. Then the next day, a fifth inmate, 19-year-old Corey Boyd, was found and taken into custody, and he was being held in jail on a second-degree charge as well. The next day, the sixth inmate was caught. This one was caught in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He made it a little bit further. Okay, this was 27-year-old Linton Van Buren. He was being held in jail, facing charges of second-degree. Later that same day, the 7th and 8th were both caught. And this was 32-year-old Leo Tate and 43-year-old Jermaine Donald. They were both caught in Texas. They made it the furthest, it seems like. Both Leo and Jermaine were in jail for second-degree charges. That leaves us with the last two inmates that are currently still on the run. This is 33-year-old Antoine Massey and 28-year-old Derek Groves. Now, Antoine, this is the one that if you've heard anything about this, you've probably seen him all over the news and the media. He was in jail facing theft and DV charges. However, he was also wanted in a different parish for kidnapping and for R-word charges. Now, the other guy, Derek, has actually been convicted of 2 charges of second degree and two charges of attempted for an incident back in 2018. So he actually was convicted. Antoine, though, is now being investigated for seemingly posting a now deleted video or videos of himself on Instagram. In these videos, and this is what has everybody in a tizzy, and this is where all these C theories are starting to come up, he claims he did not escape. He said he was let out, and that he did not commit the crimes that he had been in jail for.
They say that I broke out. I didn't break out. I was let out. My name is Antoine Massey. It's not different females. It's the same grown woman, not a child, a grown woman. Okay, she did the same thing in Orleans Parish, right? Correct. I'm about to show you how the system is corrupted. Okay, she did this, right? Saying all allegations against me is false, and she even saying it. You know, she let them know the truth that I never did this to her. I never hit her. I was nowhere around her. Nothing. She got mad and thought that I was dealing with another woman. That's why she did what she did to me.
And mind you, I've seen his aunt speak online very passionately. I'm going to play a video for y'all, and there's some things that she says, like about how Antoine's always been a problem, and the reason why she says he's been a problem. And even though some of the things she says, it's like I can go, yeah, but you can still hear the passion and the love in her voice, and that alone makes my heart hurt for this aunt. Listen to this.
I have a public announcement to make. And I swear I did not want to come on here on my platform with this because I'm a private person and my family is private. But I'm the only one that can speak up right now because I'm the matron of this family right now. My mama is too sick for this. My daddy too old for this. And my sister, she the last one y'all want to hear from right now. But this right here pertains to Antoine Massey. If you don't have no type of consideration for our family, bruh, I get it. I understand. I can't control social media. I cannot control what people do on here. And Lord, forgive me for cursing because I'm not even that type of broad no more. I done buried her a long time ago. But right now, our family is going through. Y'all making my nephew out to be a monster. He is not a monster. Let me explain. Yes, Antoine, 30-something years old. He's the son of my big brother, Antoine Taylor. Yes. He is. Now, with that being said, is Antoine a problem child? Of course. Anybody who know us know that. But how did he get that way? Y'all know how he got that way. From watching his father get executed in front of him, but he's not the only one that it done affected. It affected his sister. It affected his mama. It affected all of his siblings. Do you understand what I'm saying? His sister right now is locked up and incarcerated from allegedly helping him. Allegedly helping him. She ain't been right since she seen the murder of her father. The oldest one ain't been right. His own mama can't even reach out and try to help him because she just come home from doing a 14-year bid, and at the same time, if she was to be in touch with him, she can go back to jail. So I'm the only one left that can speak out for all of them. I'm gonna need for y'all to fall back.
So obviously, Antoine and his siblings have been through some things. Now, if he's guilty of these charges, which he says he's innocent, and there's a lot of people that are saying that he's innocent, and according to him, he has the proof that he's innocent. But if he's not innocent, okay, we'll just say that. If he's not innocent of the charges that he is accused of, I don't think anything that happened to him like that makes it okay. But nevertheless, investigators have since raided the home that they believe that Antoine filmed those videos in after they received a tip from a family member. Now, Antoine was not there, but investigators found clothes belonging to him there. So basically, family members was like, oh, I see Antoine over there at Brenda and Martha's house. Crime Stoppers, we know exactly where he's at. Now, mind you, too, his mother, who, according to his aunt, allegedly just got out, I believe, of jail or prison herself. And she's been online begging him to turn himself in. His aunt's been begging him to turn himself in. And I don't know what's going on with the family behind the scenes, if the police are really putting pressure on them or messing with them or what, but they have been begging him to turn himself in. In the video, Antoine also claimed that Sterling, remember that maintenance worker that we talked about earlier in this video, the one that allegedly shut the water off, that he lied. Antoine said that he never threatened Sterling.
The guy who said that I threatened him with a shake, the maintenance guy, how could I threaten you with a shake? If you can't come around me, you're a maintenance. You cannot come on the tills without a deputy being behind you. Because if they just let you on the till, you could be persuaded to bring drugs or anything like that in that nature. So how can I threaten you to jail you? And why you didn't notify the people, the police, that if I did threaten you, you never did that? Like, you flat out lied on me. Sterling flat out lied on me. And I want to let the media know that from the straight tattoos in my face and things of that nature, of course they're going to believe Sterling. You know what I'm saying? I never told Sterling nothing. I'm willing to take a lie detector test and everything behind that. But that's another subject. Orleans Parish is one of the corruptedest jails. That and St. Tammany Parish is the corruptedest jails in the state of Louisiana.
Now, during this time, Antoine also was basically like reaching out, asking for help from a lot of famous people like Meek Mill, Lil Wayne, Youngboy, and even the president.
People that know me know that at the end of the day, I am a good person. So I'm asking for help from the world, from Meek Mills, Lil Wayne, Youngboy, Donald Trump. I'm asking for these people. I couldn't even get a lawyer. I couldn't even afford a lawyer to prove my innocence while I was in Orleans Parish Jail.
Now, the Louisiana State Police have declined to verify the authenticity of this video, but, I mean, when you look at the pictures of him, you see the video. To me, in my unprofessional opinion, I'm not a professional, okay? It looks like him to me. Sterling Williams, again, that maintenance worker, has since been arrested himself for the role that he played in the escape. He was actually charged with 10 counts of principal to simple escape and 1 count of this other charge, which, man, I want to know all the charges these people got. I want to know the guy that was supposed to be the civilian worker that was supposed to be watching, the one that stepped away for a bite to eat. Y'all, I done been in the, I'm telling you, he was like this. In my personal unprofessional opinion, because they be in there with their feet kicked up, sleeping. Some of y'all know, some of y'all work that job. Y'all know y'all sleep overnight a lot of times. Whatever, not judging, just saying. He didn't step away for nobody to eat, in my opinion. But authorities say that Sterling admitted that he turned the water off in that cell because he was asked to. But see, if he was asked to or if he was threatened to, which one was it? Because the wordings are not adding up to me. But Sterling, through his attorney, is still maintaining his innocence. He says that he's being used as a scapegoat. And from what I know right now, I do kind of think so. If the toilet was overflowing, no matter whose fault it was, and he's a maintenance worker, and he's asked to check on it, and he turns the water off, okay, where's the police? Where's the officers? Where's the COs? Where's the deputies? The whole time where these guys were, why wasn't the door locked? How'd they open the door? Then how'd they shimmy the other door open? How'd they remove, and how did they know that was the toilet to remove? How did they, because out of all, why did they go in? Because otherwise they could have just removed their own toilets. They knew the way out some way, somehow. Then they removed the toilet. They had all that time to saw through the pipes, leave a little message, you know, too easy, LOL, we innocent. Go through all their, go past all the cameras. Y'all ain't got no security guards watching the cameras to see a bunch of inmates. I think he's a scapegoat too. However, a total of 15 people have been charged with helping the escapees during their escape. 3 jail employees have been suspended without pay. I don't think, I need more on that though, because something's not adding up to me, y'all. Something's not right. The sheriff, however, has taken public accountability. And I do like her statement. I'm not going to lie. Do I think some mistakes were made? Yes. It was raining bad choices, mistakes, or conspiracy theories here, okay? I mean, so many. We could just pick our hand in a bucket and pick out a million different mistakes. However, her statement said that I take full responsibility for what happened. This breach happened under my leadership, and it is my responsibility to ensure that it is addressed with urgency and transparency. She's also suspended her re-election campaign to focus on restoring the public trust. So I do like that. At least she suspended her campaign to try to get trust. But they got a long ways to go. You guys, this wasn't one thing. It's not like it was one guard that maybe got jumped. They took the keys and they escaped. All of this really happened. Something seems weird, y'all. Something's going on. Now, law enforcement is now offering a $50,000 reward for tips leading to the captures of the 2 remaining escapees, Antoine and Derek. And I just got to say that this ain't the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, okay? Back then, that whole no snitching thing and whatever, baby, $50,000 on the line, people's going to tell on you, okay? As soon as they see you, they're going to be calling Crime Stoppers. I know where Derek is. I know where Antoine is, trying to get that $50,000. And so they probably not going to be gone for too long. What do you think? I think for the victims, especially for Derek's victims, because he has indeed been convicted, I can't imagine what they're feeling right now. Maybe they're scared. I hope that they're safe. I don't know the whole situation of his case, but he was convicted. And I'm interested to see what all is going to go on with this Antoine situation too. And the jail. I mean, it just sucks because if 517 inmates can go unaccounted for, what could be being covered up right now? Because obviously something happened. I mean, no offense or anything, but most of these guys just stayed around the area. It's not like these are like Pablo Escobar type of criminals. I mean, they had all that time to get away and go anywhere they want. They could have been down in Mexico. And one of them was on Bourbon Street, y'all. Got caught hiding underneath a car from the police. How did they get out like this? Weird. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Other than that, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.